Welcome in once again to another exciting edition of Locked On Eagles Squad Show. That is Harry Mays. That is Jason Martinez. My name is Marc Farzetta. And gentlemen, the camp is here. The camp is here. The camp is here. We're going to break it all down the floor.
You look like Tarzan.
I'm wheezing.
Seriously.
I'm wheezing. Squad show coming up, dear Lord.
Why Eagles Fly? It's the Eagles Squad. Sponsored by Gametime. Everything Philadelphia Eagles every week. Covering all the big hits and game-changing plays from the city of brotherly love. The way only the Locked On Podcast Network can. Get ready and squad up. It's the Eagles Squad show starting now.
And we thank you for making Eagle Squad Show your first listen. This particular episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins with the great people of FanDuel. Check out FanDuel.com or open the app today. Gentlemen, as previously stated, camp is upon us. We got training camp battles that we're going to be breaking down. We got so much to get into when it comes to the possibility of Keely Ringo being handed the baton for outside corner opposite Quenyon Mitchell. We got Cooper DeJean responsibilities. Oh, we got so much when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys, and already such a beautiful thing when they start out as a dumpster fire. You know what players love? When their owner brings up publicly how injured they are and what a detriment that is to the team. Isn't that great? That's what's going on in Dallas right now. Oh, and we have a Hall of Fame player actually talking about it already. So that's a good time as well. But welcome into the show. This is Locked On Eagles Squad Show. Gentlemen, I do want to start off with some quick things here with the Eagles ring presentation. Believe it or not, I got takeaways from the ring presentation.
No way.
I absolutely do. All right. Number one, I got to admit, the rings, badass. You mean to tell me you push down on these rings on a certain button and wings shoot out of it? Like, that is some 007 Q type of. Now, see here, Jalen, push down on this lever and wings shoot out. That is awesome. Number two, Jalen Hurts not wearing his ring because he's all about keeping the main thing. I thought the ring was the main thing, but no, the next ring is the main thing. How about that? And A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown is the one that, if you remember, gentlemen, after the Eagles won the Super Bowl, he was the first one to say, is this it? Is this all there is to it? Like, I thought there'd be more to like winning and stuff.
That's Scotty Scheffler.
It's Scotty Scheffler. Yeah. Like the high was short lived. And then another. The other. Keely Ringo, Darius Slay take a picture together. Slay posts it. Now a Pittsburgh Steeler posts it to his social media with the caption, "Passing the baton."
No, thanks.
Passing the baton.
You're no longer here.
Yeah.
Okay. So you don't go passing any. You're not passing any batons.
Yeah. Well,
go ahead, Jason.
I'll just say this real quick.
What?
He's the guy that essentially dry snitched and told us that CJGJ wasn't going to be back when he didn't acknowledge him as a leader. So I still think Darius Slay is in charge of player personnel. Just saying.
Wow.
Interesting. Let's go back to the ring real quick. I want to show this because if people haven't seen the ring just yet, here is the ring. As soon as it pops up there, I gotta add it. There we go. This is the ring in action, not the movie The Ring. Harry.
Are those your nails? Are those your nails?
Those are not. I didn't get the French manicure. But look at this. That is insane. It's like a transformer.
Yeah. That's too much for me.
What?
That's too gaudy. That's ostentatious and way over the top.
Awesome.
Totally unlike me. Yeah.
I think it's beautiful.
And why can't Jalen Hurts at least wear the ring for a couple of days? Can this guy have no fun?
No.
Seriously?
No. Fun ain't the main thing, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, like athletes, and I agree with Scotty Scheffler. I don't know if you guys saw this. You work so hard to be good, and you got to work so hard to stay at the top. And that, I think most elite athletes aren't in it for the joy of winning. They're in it for the fear of losing.
Yes.
That is more pronounced to them. And when you win, you enjoy it for a couple moments, but then you still have this creeping feeling of I don't want to lose because of that, how that feels. And like Hurts takes it almost to an insane level.
Yeah.
Because he's just so dialed in all the time that he just can't enjoy it. And I forget who I was listening to the other day. They were saying, I just wish I would have enjoyed it more when I played, to enjoy the wins and savor it. Oh, it was actually Fernando Alonso, a Formula One driver, won a couple World Championships.
God.
But he said, he's like, I was too focused on the next race all the time. Fernando Alonso is a two-time champion, Harry Ferrari, and back in the day. And he said that, though, but, you're just so scared of losing going forward to take the good taste out of your mouth that you don't enjoy winning.
Yeah.
I wonder if Hurts will have that in hindsight, but hey, keep winning, man.
If he does, he won't admit it. He's more like Saban than Saban.
Yeah, true. Very true.
Because, Nick Saban was famous as saying that after winning all his national championships, like the next day he's already recruiting for the next season. Like you'd never sort of just take a couple of days, weeks, whatever it is, and sort of reflect on your accomplishment and enjoy yourself a little bit.
Doesn't feel like an accomplishment to him. It feels like that's what we were supposed to do.
It's his job. Yeah, it's his job.
Right.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I think it's one of those things that athletes do look back. The great athletes look back on their careers and they realize that they have this thought because they work so hard and they were focused on the end goal. Even if they achieved the end goal, they were focused on doing it again. I mean, you look at a guy like Aaron Rodgers, for instance. I mean, 4 MVPs, that's great. A Super Bowl victory, he's had one of them in his career, but he looks back on his career. How is he gonna view it? Should he have had more fun along the way? Jalen Hurts now, looking at his career as it's going on, I think he is just going to mow through his career, and hopefully he does with great success, more successes to come. But I don't think you have those successes without the constant fear and loathing towards losing. You can't have more fun. Like, people look back on it. People of great successes in so many walks of life. I heard somebody who's a multi-Emmy award winner talk about how I just wish I would have enjoyed it more. That's not the job to enjoy it. The job is to win. And the way you win is not enjoyable. That's not
Michael
fun.
Jordan.
Michael Jordan has talked about it at length, but now he's got 6 of them. So, you can look back on it.
How do you win 3 in a row twice?
Right.
Because
you have to hate it. You have to hate losing more than you love winning. And that's what drives these guys. You could get into, what is it? Who wrote The Prince? Dante? Was that the guy's name? Like, it's all about fearing the loss than it is loving the victory, focusing on the negative on things. That's what drives these guys.
Is that
Machiavelli? That's what I love about these guys. Machiavelli, thank you.
Yes, thank you. I'm a very well-read
man. He's a good Paisan.
I picked
Paisan.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, look at Tom Brady. Like, he wouldn't even come across to shake Nick Foles' hand when they won the Super Bowl that year.
Well, that's because he was embarrassed.
Well, he might have been embarrassed, but he lost. And this is a guy that won a bunch already. But the winning stung him so bad.
That's poor sportsmanship too, by the way.
Yeah, especially for
seriously
a quarterback union member like him. Those guys you got to do that no matter what, in my opinion. But
agreed.
But losing will make you do things that are out of character.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Especially
if you're not used to it.
Yeah.
You don't know how to act as a loser, unfortunately.
Right.
Some other people have that same problem. Like Cam Newton doesn't know how to act as a loser, despite so much practice.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Hurts, like you talk about his career. Like, I just think my expectation for his career is just evolving by the year too. Because you go to a Super Bowl, you lose, you come back, you have that tough season where everything fell apart, and you come back and you win a Super Bowl and you're the MVP. Like, dude is just so dialed in. I'm all for just living his entire career and let him enjoy it after, because I'm enjoying watching it.
I wonder what Jeff Stoutland does with the ring. Like, does he pimp it for a couple of days down at the Jersey Shore before they reconvene, or does he just, stuff it in a drawer somewhere?
That's in a drawer somewhere.
Because he's as responsible for this ring as anybody, in my view.
If I'm him, your next meeting with your next offensive lineman, and obviously there's going to be a lot of them, I think you're just kind of like scratching your face with like the rings on, being like, you guys should really listen to me. You're new here, Kenyon Green. You're new here. You haven't really reached your full potential just yet. If only you would listen to what I have to say. That kind
you
of
wear it to the combine for a day or two out there interviewing potential draft picks. Yeah.
Well, like Stoutland, is he the guy, like a non-player? He's probably more responsible for the ring than the head coach. an offensive line coach.
I agree.
Like that's crazy, right? That's how much he means.
Yeah.
That's bananas.
It sounds ridiculous, but I'm
but
more on
true.
your side than anything.
Yeah.
It is insane. I don't know. I don't. The people that wear it out and about, like, I mean, we've talked to athletes before.
Like
We've talked to guys that have won
Howard
championships.
Eskin, yes. That's the first name that came to mind.
Well, he got canned in the middle of the season, so I don't think he got one of these rings.
Well, no, but he used to wear that Miami Hurricanes ring.
Oh,
Remember
yeah,
how
the
bogus and fugazi that was? He never even went to school there.
Yeah.
What was that? The 86 one or 85?
I don't know.
Yeah,
The
when they
state
beat
of
Penn
Miami.
State.
Yeah.
He did it just to troll Penn State because he was a hater.
Oh, okay.
Probably because he couldn't get into Penn State.
Is that why?
Well, I think so.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
Brazier lost his World Series ring. Remember, he left it in the bathroom.
He left it on the toilet seat. Yeah, or the
Yeah.
toilet. He left it on the
urinal.
dispenser.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it was the whole thing. He lost
2008 World Series. Phillies
I
World
never
Series,
heard that.
Yeah, he eventually recovered it.
Oh,
Yeah.
my God.
Well, I mean, he
Somehow.
lost his ring. The Fanatic lost his head at one point. That head ended up in the WYSP studios. The guy who took it brought it there, and we returned it to the Phillies when I was working at YSP.
Oh, my
I think DeBella was the one that sanctioned that head being turned over.
Oh, boy.
In a prisoner exchange.
But it's the day they report. Remember how great this used to be when we were back on the radio years, and it seems like decades ago.
It always seemed like it was great that it was coming. Then you got there and it's a nothing burger.
No, but it was great when they actually had to report somewhere.
Lehigh.
You'd get the video of
yeah.
the obligatory video of the SUVs rolling into Lehigh and the guys offloading their TVs, their game consoles and stereos and all this stuff. It was great.
Well, it was always funny.
And let's not forget the hyperbaric chambers later.
Right.
At Lehigh.
It was always funny because the veterans come in like these big caddy SUV, the Escalades and everything.
Yeah.
And a couple of rookies come in a beat up Corolla.
Yeah.
They haven't gotten paid yet, Like,
There's definitely a line of demarcation there in that parking lot. You can see.
Yeah.
Like when you see the rookies parking next to the media members, you go, all right, hopefully they get their payday sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But no, you're right. There was a romance to that. Like seeing the guys unload and seeing their families drop them off or whatever, like that kind of thing. Knowing that there was a curfew at Lehigh or Widener, even further back. That was cool to know that, oh wow, these guys have a curfew. They have to be back. Going up to Lehigh, that town would turn into just a blast going into Bethlehem. Yeah, going out there. I've certainly had my fair shake out there with some friends. It's a good time, and now it's just look. Chip Kelly, for all that we could say that's negative about him, he officially moved things back to the NovaCare complex, and he made the very obvious point. We literally work so hard and spend so much money on this facility to leave it during the biggest preparation time we're going to have is dumb. Yeah, so I give him credit for that. He also brought that Jeff Stoutland fellow that we mentioned a second ago.
Right.
But I love the fact that it's here. And yeah, there is still in my mind a romance to it because this is the official beginning of the new season, the new year. I know we can go back to March and talk about when the new league year starts, and we can talk about the draft and OTAs. Yeah, exactly. And minicamp. This is the time right now. This is the first time that the group of guys in this room are together without Josh Sweat being here anymore. I know Mekhi Becton and Darius Slay came back for their rings, and Brandon Graham was unretired for a night just to go there and get his second Super Bowl ring, which is incredible. But this is the official first step of running it back, getting back to the mountaintop. And I think I love the fact that the Eagles put this out there, but you go back to Nick Sirianni putting out that picture of the valley and then the mountaintop. And this is where we are right now in the valley, and we got to get back to the mountaintop. But you got to think about every step along the way, cautiously and professionally, in order to get back to that high, because last year's over. The ring ceremony is now over. That's the last time, other than the banner being unfurled on Thursday night to kick off the new season. That's the last time you're going to think about last year. And that moment it's not even going to be for the players. That moment's going to be for the fans.
Yeah,
that's taking the step forward.
This part right now, training camp and preseason, is just the hike to base camp at Everest.
Yeah, right.
That's just to get to base camp. And the season starts, you start at base camp and you want to ascent. Is that what it's called when you ascent the mountain and get to the top of Everest again? They did it last year. I remember when camp was back at Westchester for many years. And I'm born and raised in Westchester. And when those guys would come to town, and in particular those teams in the mid and late 80s with Buddy Ryan and Eric Allen and Reggie White and Seth Joyner, like those guys would take over the town.
Yeah.
They'd all be at the Rat drinking, Jim McMahon and all those guys.
Yeah.
And I remember I worked at a place called Stadium Grill. It was like a restaurant. You could bring your own beer. And a lot of the guys would come there because we sold these 1/2 pound cheeseburgers, an 8-ounce burger. Andy Harmon would come in after practice and eat 3 of them. It's a 1.5 pounds of meat.
Right.
And those guys would be all over town. And when you're younger too, there's like a romance to it. The Eagles are coming to our town again, like Reggie White.
It was better then.
It was.
I don't like this at the NovaCare Complex. He's shutting out the fans. They do the one. They used to do 2 open practices. Now they only do 1. It's one real sterile event that they have at the stadium.
It's a hype event.
It stinks, to be honest with you. It was so cool going up to Lehigh. And a random practice and saying, I'm coming back next Tuesday or what and you run up there multiple days, because it only took 45 minutes or whatever it was to get there.
Unless it was the TO year.
Well, yeah,
jammed up.
That was all different. But I just thought it was so cool, like where the fans could be sitting there in those little bleachers yelling at people.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
It's great. You could watch Howard Mudd take the offensive lineman, and what was the crazy defensive line?
Wide 9?
Yeah, that guy. What was that coach?
Jason Babin.
No, the coach.
Jim Washburn.
Washburn and Mudd's guys would be just going at it like it was for their last meal, and you were like within, couple of feet of that. It was very intimate. It was so cool.
Yeah,
and you get to hang with the fans again.
Yeah.
Like the fans were nuts. They're boozing in the parking lot before.
Yeah.
You had the Merrill Reese RV up there so he could file his reports. Hi, this is Merrill Reese. Yeah. It just was awesome.
Yeah.
Other people lying about being there to file a report. Anyway.
Oh.
But it would be hot as hell up there too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Hot, humid.
Yeah. It's August.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that was another thing. It was like a rite of passage to go up there or to go wherever they were, whether it was Widener, Westchester, Hershey, way back in the day.
Yeah,
I'm looking at the list. I didn't realize that the 36-37 Philadelphia Eagles, 1936-1937, practiced at Temple University, Harry.
Are you serious?
I'm dead. See, I wouldn't lie to you.
What, at the old Temple Stadium up there off Cheltenham Avenue?
I would assume as much, but
Yeah.
it just says Temple University. I don't.
And we actually have a preseason game in less than 10 days.
That's incredible.
Like a little over a week, the Chargers and Lions will be playing that Hall of Fame game, and it's actually in July, the 31st of July. I don't know.
Sunday night, right?
I don't know that that's ever happened before.
Is that
in
Sunday?
July?
Yeah, that was always in August.
Yeah, it was usually August 3rd.
July 31st at 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
A week from
I've been
this
out there
was
many
90th
times
day.
for that Hall of Fame game.
Yeah.
Many times. And I highly recommend it, by the way, for everybody.
Oh, the Hall of Fame is great.
Yeah, there's one night a year I'd rather be in Canton, Ohio than Las Vegas, Nevada. And it's the Hall of Fame night. You talk about a city changing into a party.
Yeah.
Canton, Ohio is the party capital of the world.
I've never been.
I was in that Hall of Fame in 1979.
Wow.
Was that the last time you were there?
That's the only time I was there.
Oh, the only time you were there?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's changed.
There might be some new stuff to see, Har.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Eagles have won some Super Bowl. No,
Nick Foles' cleats are there, right?
What was that?
I think Nick Foles' cleats are there from Philly.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
They
Nick Foles' cleats are there. I will say there's one slap in the face, and when I do go back to the Hall of Fame, I will see if it's still there. I walked through the actual Hall of Fame, like the busts and all that stuff, and the faces, the heads, all that stuff. On the way out, the first painting you see is Reggie White making a sack as a Green Bay Packer.
Oh,
it's an outrage.
And do you know which quarterback he's sacking?
An Eagle quarterback.
Rodney
Cunningham. Pete.
Randall.
Randall Cunningham.
Rodney Pete was a good answer, though. I totally forgot.
That was a good answer. That was a good answer. I like that.
Yeah.
But yes, they're still reporting the storylines aren't the same as far as fans going up there and that rite of passage just saying you traveled to the destination. I went to see him, and then acting like for the rest of the summer you had some kind of inside scoop because you saw them in person, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, so now the media's there in full force. Fans, unfortunately, don't get the opportunity they used to. That obviously sucks during all of it. But when it comes to the camp battles, gentlemen, that is something that will withstand the test of time, because this right here is the essence of football. Battling, not just to beat your opponent, but to beat a guy that could be your teammate, so that you can make sure that you're going to be on the team. We're going to talk about
live anymore? Do they do live tackling?
Very rarely.
Very rarely.
Yeah. Not to the ground, right?
But I will disagree, Mark, in that the media is there full force, because I am not there, and I was denied a credential by the organization.
It's not right.
Yes,
it's not right.
So you put a request in.
I formally made a nice email request to the powers that be, and after they came back from vacation, I was flatly denied.
Why were you denied, Harry? This is an outrage.
They said something to the effect that there's just too many outlets to appease these days with all the new media, and that they're going to stay with their standard outlets that have been covering them for decades. So that's basically the gist.
Which is not true, but I get what they're saying. I hear what they're saying, but they're not.
They can't appease everybody, but you're not asking for that, Harry.
I'm not asking them to appease everybody, just me.
Yeah. Would you go? Would you go every game?
No, I said I didn't even need the game thing. That's the thing.
You wanted practice.
I specifically said I don't need access to the Lincoln Financial Field for games, because I do a postcast immediately after the game from home. I can't go to the games anyway.
Good point.
Right. Yeah.
So I made that clear. I'm not just looking to get a free access to the games. That's not. I don't care about that stuff, and I never did.
Yeah, man, I have 1,000 media passes, full season credentials that I never used.
Yeah. So.
Oh man,
there you go.
Yeah, I hear that, my friend.
I got that off my chest.
Well, you need to be in that building.
Complaint.
Harry, you need to be in that building to tell them that their Super Bowl rings suck. They're just terrible.
No, I didn't say they suck.
Now we know why you don't like the ring, Harry. They denied you.
Dude, that ring, I could probably put 3 fingers inside that ring. That thing was so huge.
Yeah, I would put that on my calf.
How much does it cost to print one more credential? How much did it cost to make those rings?
Exactly.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Jeremy,
the paper it's printed on.
Jeremy Van Sciver. Wait, no, they didn't even throw that out as an option, like a one-off every once in a while. No,
like if Tim McManus is sick, you could fill in, Harry.
Tim McManus is never sick.
Call out sick.
He does never call out
Iron
sick.
Man.
I've never been sick at sea.
Harry, that ring weighs too much. Don't want Jalen to dislocate a ligament in his throwing hand, says Van Sciver.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
Fair point.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
All right. When we come back, we're going to get into those camp battles, because we got plenty to get into there. Who's got the most to prove, essentially, between now and the close of camp? That's when we return. This is Locked On Eagles Squad Show on the Locked On Eagles YouTube channel. All right, folks, time to tell you about Rugiet. Yeah, that's right. Haven't heard of Rugiet yet? Come on. Of course you have. Rugiet is where it's at. Guys, you've probably heard of Viagra or Cialis. Maybe you've even tried them yourself. But if you're looking for something beyond the usual pill, it's time to meet Rugiet Ready. Rugiet Ready is a next-gen prescription treatment designed to amplify arousal in the brain and boost blood flow. Unlike the usual pills that can take hours, Rugiet's 3-in-1 formula dissolves under your tongue and kicks in fast, on average in 15 minutes. The effects can last up to 36 hours, so you can stay confident and in control when the moment is right. If traditional options haven't worked, Rugiet might be the answer. Over 150,000 men have already made the switch. You can even read real customer reviews on their site. It's helping a lot of people feel more confident and present in the moment. So head to Rugiet.com/LockedOnNFL and use promo code LockedOnNFL to get 15% off today. That's Rugiet, RUGIET.com/LockedOnNFL, and use promo code LockedOnNFL for 15% off. Individual results may vary with prescription treatment. Compound drugs are permitted to be prescribed under federal law, but are not FDA approved and do not undergo FDA safety, effectiveness, or manufacturing review. Please visit the Rugiet website for full safety information. And just like that, gentlemen, we're back.
Do you get free samples of that Rugiet?
No, I have not. You know what? I don't know if I should take this as a compliment or not. I did get an offer to help promote a weight loss thing that we're doing here on Locked On, and I was like, at least,
yeah. Well, I mean, it always helps if you can sample the product. It enhances your live read.
This is true.
Like, hey, the other night I slipped some Rugiet under the tongue, and bam. You know what I mean?
Bam, this live read will be 36 hours. Yes.
Yes.
What a flex, by the way, in a read, 36 hours. All right, you have my attention.
That's like a priapism. Look that word up, people on the chat.
That's a Scrabble 100-point word right there.
Exactly right. Yeah.
Play that game with Grandma. I learned it from a Rugiet ad. Mom. Okay.
What is this priapism? Oh boy, we're off the rails here with the start of camp.
So camp battles. There's no transition here, so sharp right turn.
Right.
All right, gentlemen, who's got the most to prove? Who can help their stock the most? Now, obviously, the criteria for this is it's got to be a camp battle, so you can't be, Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, Lane
that's
Johnson.
What sports radio is saying. Jalen Hurts has got the most to prove.
Yeah.
Well,
in that engagement farming they do.
Here's no, I'm not going to partake just yet. I'm going to save that. I'm going to save that take. But if you have to go, who can help their stock the most in this camp? Harry, I'll ask you first. Who do you think is the person that could help them over the next 4 weeks?
Well, I think it's Adoree Jackson, actually, who was acquired in the offseason. There wasn't a whole lot of fanfare that came with this acquisition. But he is, an 8-year veteran, spent time with division rival the Giants, and, of course, was drafted by Tennessee a few years back. And, has got quite a bit of experience. And, that's when I see something like, we're passing the torch or the baton since Slay to Keely Ringo. I'm like, well, wait a second. You got a veteran here. Who's got a lot of pass defense numbers, some interceptions, a lot of tackles, so forth, and played a lot of games. And we're just going to sort of just give this, position to Keely Ringo because he went to Georgia, and we love the Georgia Bulldogs, who have now sort of inhabited this roster. And most of them are great players, don't get me wrong. But just because we used a 4th-round pick on him, is he just all of a sudden anointed the cornerback position? Not in my book. I think Adoree Jackson he has a lot to prove, Adoree Jackson, and he could prove it to me if I was a coach.
The thing that they also traded up to get Keely Ringo, I think they really wanted him to take the reins last year. I think one of the reasons that they moved on from Isaiah Rodgers, other than just money, was Keely Ringo to step up. And Adoree Jackson is here to compete for that job. But I agree with you. I ain't handing Keely Ringo anything.
No.
I mean, you brought in a veteran corner who is he's not some scrub. He is a good veteran corner. So I look at his stock is right now, it is falling with all the Keely Ringo hype. He's the guy that I think could absolutely hype, exactly. Yeah. Not tangible, Harry. I can't grab it just yet.
Right.
But he's getting hyped up. He's getting a lot of talk, a lot of adjectives thrown his way and compliments.
Right.
But Adoree Jackson's a guy that I think is on that chart right now that could certainly work his way up that depth chart. The direction I'll go in is that safety position. Drew Makuba just signed his rookie deal, 2nd-round pick, last pick in that 2nd round. You're not picking him in the 2nd round. You're not picking him that high unless you intend for him to be a starter, especially at the safety position. We always talk about how if you're an offensive player you're taken in the 1st round, they're expecting you to start. Well, it's a similar thing when you talk about a safety before the 3rd round. I don't care if it was the last one before the 3rd round. Still in the 2nd, you're intending for him to be the starter. It is going to be a little bit of a fight here between him and Sidney Brown before he takes over that, or whether or not those two can compete for that spot. But I think they're going to hand the keys to the kingdom right now to Drew Makuba before they, of course, get Justin Simmons. But right now, the guy that they're going to look at as the starter is going to be Drew Makuba. And I think he can help a lot of people get over the idea of Sidney Brown coming down with a full head of steam, knocking somebody on their ass and, playing like Brian Dawkins and all that stuff.
Right.
I think the guy that can turn a lot of heads and get a lot of attention in camp is going to be Drew Makuba, and he's going to be under that microscope in the early round, the early goings of it.
No doubt. He's there now. So he's got the job to lose, and you see how he reacts to it. Another guy, not necessarily a position battle, but Cooper DeJean, because we've heard so much about the versatility of Cooper DeJean, where he's going to be moving around and playing different positions and covering the slot. And based on how he picks up this added responsibility and this Swiss Army knife kind of defensive role for him will depend on those guys too. If they feel comfortable with Makuba, or, he maybe kind of locks in on the Locked On show. You know what I mean? And instead of moving him around. But I think also you want, I'm going to be interested to see how they deploy DeJean as the season gets on. I don't think you'll see it in the preseason.
Right.
But because I think they're just going to put this guy in positions to make plays. And that's going to be regardless of where he's lining up. He's going to be out there to be a playmaker, because he showed last year he's a playmaker. So that'll be an interesting one to watch here throughout camp. On the offensive side, I mean, where's the battle here on the offensive line at the right guard position? And that's about really it.
Yeah, and and maybe for that fourth wide receiver spot,
the Dotson keeping an eye on Goddard. He signs the new deal, and it's a huge year for him. But he's got to stay healthy. That's more of a long play thing.
Yeah, but
go ahead, Harry.
No, I want to know though if Farzy contacted Jimmy Kempski prior to putting this 53-man projection out, because on there in the safety spot, he puts at the end, and Justin Simmons is still available in parentheses.
It's the worst kept secret. Yes, I've read it. That two things jumped out to me. One, Justin Simmons. The other, AJ Dillon not being on the roster.
Right. Yeah, that was curious.
Now it's curious, but Kempsey goes on to explain it's only Jimmy Ken. It's like, you guys are missing the point. It's not about him not being good enough to make the team. It's about him being good enough to stay with the team on the practice squad, which they can do as a veteran.
Well, so it's also the fact that they want to give a spot to a fullback. Because that guy is already on the 53-man according to Kempski's projection. So that's where the rub is to me. It's like I know they want to have Shipley sort of be that Gainwell role, be a guy pass catching out of the backfield and 2-minute drill for whatever it is. And I could see him doing that, because that's basically what he was at Clemson. But the fact that they have a fullback on that roster and part of the 53 makes A.J. Dillon sort of a swing player.
Yeah. The other thing is Ben Von Sumeren also linebacker.
Yeah, right.
In a pinch, when you have two linebackers, or one is an edge rusher, one is a linebacker, that you're looking at as you have questionable health. Well, this guy can play two positions. And it's weird to think about that when you talk about a guy. First off, it's weird to talk about a guy going from Michigan to Michigan State. I think that was the order. And then switching from halfback to linebacker. Like that's weird. And the other thing is, they talked about him a lot 2 years ago, if you remember, just as that raw strength and raw talent, like a beast of a guy, that type of thing. Well, he's starting to harness some of that. Just like I was talking about a second ago with Sidney Brown, whether or not you can harness that missile that is Sidney Brown. They've harnessed it with Ben Von Sumeren. Whether or not he's going to be a fullback on the roster or a linebacker on the roster, I think those are two very interesting things there. But
really important position, though, by the way. I mean,
what, fullback?
Just having another option beyond Saquon.
Absolutely.
After having 345
RB2, you're talking about.
Yeah. I mean, just whatever package. Like, we got to. I don't want to say load manage Saquon, but not lean on him the way you did a year ago.
Right.
Oh, yeah. We've mentioned 482 carries.
Yeah.
A number of times. Or excuse me, touches.
345 carries. Which was 50 more carries than he's ever done in his career.
Yeah. I mean, you got to manage that during the regular season. You get to the postseason, all bets are off. You use them as much as you can and as much as whatever you need to do to win. But you got to manage that through the season. So you better have something there that's going to, really be a good option.
Yeah. But Dillon also has to prove that he's, healthy too. He missed all of last year with a kind of a weird injury.
You can see Howie making a deal and finding somebody here too. He's not averse to that, finding another running back and to complement, kind of like a Jay Ajayi with Garrett Blunt back in the Super Bowl year. Howie's always scouring the waiver wire as guys get cut too. So we'll see how that plays out.
Sure. There's one more here that I don't even look at it as a position battle between two players that are here. I mean, you could look at a Jomo, you could look at Ty Robinson and say, all right, these guys are going to be competing to be the guy getting the majority of the snaps next to Jalen Carter if Jordan Davis doesn't take another step forward this year.
Mm-hmm.
But they're competing against a ghost. They're competing against a guy that's no longer here, and they're competing against what Milton Williams was to this defensive line a year ago. So, yeah, Ajomo and Robinson are going to be competing with one another. They're going to be competing a little bit with Jordan Davis as well. But you got to find somebody, assuming Jordan Davis just is the same player he was even last year, who's going to be the guy that will be Milton Williams, who will take over those snaps. I don't see it being split between Ajomo and Robinson by any means, but I see it being two guys trying to go in there and battle it out for the most reps, and not just for, I'm going to play 30% of them, he'll play 30% of them. No. Who's going to be playing like the 60% of the snaps you saw with Milton Williams? Right. And who's going to be playing at that high level as well? That's what they're going to be competing for, is to replace the production you got from Milton Williams.
Yeah, and Ajomo showed some flashes there over the latter part of the season and in the playoffs. So I'm curious. I'm kind of excited about what he can bring. With more snaps to the defensive line.
You got to have that rotation, right?
Yeah. It's what the Eagles pride themselves on. We talk about it all the time when it comes to trenches. Yeah. It's not just on the offensive side of things where you just feel secure all the time with obviously what Jeff Stoutland's bringing to the table. But defensively, we've talked all about the questions. Offensively and defensively, hardly anything on the offense, a whole hell of a lot on the defense. Defensive line, defensive tackle in particular is what I'm the most concerned about. On the edges, you're looking at Nolan Smith. You're looking at possibly Jahad Campbell, their rookie, if he's going to be more of a linebacker or more of an edge rusher. N'Kobe Dean possibly being healthy. Also, Jalix Hunt taking another step forward. And then you have these veteran guys that you brought in here. One who has been wildly inconsistent in Josh Uche.
Yeah.
And then the other, a guy that just can't stay healthy, has been talented and had some good years, but hasn't been able to stay healthy. And that's Azeez Ojulari from the Giants.
Right.
So there's guys that you could look at and go, well, I could see the potential there, but whether or not they're actually going to have the similar production that you saw from a year ago. For instance, can you replace 8.5, 9.5 sacks from when Josh Sweat was able to get?
Big ask.
It is.
Yeah. Could you get that from a Nolan Smith? Can you replace the high motor guy that Brandon Graham was with even someone like Azeez Ojulari? Like all this stuff. These are the questions you talk about defensively.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing with Brandon Graham is the intangible aspect of the energy that he brought as a leader.
Yeah. Right.
Who's going to jump into that void? Because that's a huge void. Like they moved on from Kelsey and done a great job. Now you're moving on from Brandon Graham too.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Well, he was a big personality in that locker room.
Huge.
I mean, seriously, that is an interesting question. I mean, you look at some of these names, and of course, I'm not in the locker room, so I don't know what some of these new guys, are bringing to the table. But that is a big question that I think a lot of people don't even think about because it doesn't involve on the field. But that is a big deal.
Yeah, like when new players would come here, he was part of that welcome wagon. I've been here. This is what we do. Mm-hmm. I've been here forever.
Setting the standard.
Yeah. Anything you need, any questions, you go to that guy, right? And he's such a big personality and a good dude, and obviously a highly successful player. He's going to be in the Eagles Wall of Fame, no question about it, and deservedly so. But what is that? Who fills that void and becomes that guy on that side of the ball? The other guy I'm interested in is obviously Zach Bond had a great year last year, kind of came out of nowhere, got the contract. His second year with the Eagles, a lot of expectation for him now. But Jeremiah Trotter Jr., he's a guy who started to come on a little bit at the end last year. Where does he fit in the rotation in that defense, and what can he bring?
Yeah, if you remember last year when Dean went down, everyone was talking about Jeremiah Trotter Jr., They were talking about the hatchet man taking the step forward. And even Vic Fangio was like, oh, man, he's great. He's doing so great. He's great. He's awesome. And then Oren Burks is the guy getting the reps. So what has changed? If they're going to look at Jeremiah Trotter Jr. as even just taking maybe not a step into a starter, obviously, but a step into a higher spot on the depth chart, how does that look?
Does he get how many more snaps does he get? Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And can he handle it?
And here's another name for it. I'll also bring up another rookie. Smile Mondin.
Yes.
Smile Mondin, whatever we're deciding to call him.
Smile works for me.
Smile.
Yeah.
That's how they say smile in French. Smile. That's what they say in Quebec, Harry.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, Quebec.
Hockey
You mean
season
Quebec?
hasn't started yet.
It never ended for me, Harry.
Yeah.
These are like I'm really excited to see. Like I always look at training camp. You obviously have your known commodities, right? But I look at training camp as if it's just that a bunch of dye in a Yahtzee cup. You shake it out and you dump it out and you go, all right, what do we got? Mm-hmm. And that's often what a training camp roster will look like. That's what a preseason roster will look like. Now, one of the benefits we have that goes against conventional wisdom nowadays in the NFL is that Vic Fangio is like, yeah, to hell with it. Players got to play. And we saw his starters last year in the preseason. We saw them out there for at least a little bit. We got a little sample size, old school style, right? Not just old school fellas, but good school. So we're going to get an opportunity here if Jahad Campbell's healthy. We're going to get an opportunity here when Nakobe Dean comes out. Not that we need to see him, but I'd still like to see him play more so than anybody else. We're going to get opportunities to see these young guys get that opportunity. The guy that I am literally most excited about seeing when it comes to training camp, or excuse me, when it comes to the preseason, which again is not that far away, is Ty Robinson. And I do look forward right after that to Drew Makuba and seeing what he can do at the safety position, because that's going to dictate, I think, a lot of what the Eagles do, especially, Jason, to your point earlier about Cooper DeJean. Yeah, they're asking him to do a lot. They're saying, hey, be that Swiss Army knife right now. Yeah, you're going to be the inside guy. You're going to be the nickel corner. Yeah, you're going to be outside a little bit and, maybe even safety. Well, I would love for at least Drew Makuba to be in training camp in the preseason to show you like, no, man, I got this. Yeah. You don't need, if you want to have him on two other positions, have him on two other positions. Right. But right now I got this. He doesn't need to play safety.
Take mine out of the equation.
Sort of have that seamless transition from college to pro like Mitchell did.
Quinyon Mitchell?
Yeah, there you
go. Yeah.
What was Mitchell, a 21st overall pick? Came in last year, looked like a sage veteran, didn't he?
Yep.
Yeah, he absolutely did.
He belonged from, like, we talk about the team making a major shift after the bye week, but you could tell even before that Quinyon Mitchell was a good pick.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The real deal. Absolutely.
He just never looked out of place.
All right. When we come back,
watch Tanner McKee, too. Tanner McKee's another guy you got to.
Oh, sure.
Preseason, we'll probably get a good look at it because, you may be without your quarterback for a game or two, as we saw last year.
Yeah. But I agree with I agree with Kempsky that McCord's going to get that third spot.
Oh, I agree.
For what it's
I
worth.
Absolutely agree.
Yeah.
I look. There's, if you talk about politics, gentlemen, politics in football in the depth chart. Scott Loeffler, their quarterbacks coach now, offered him a full ride, I believe it was, to where was it? Boston College at the time, before McCord went to Ohio State and then Syracuse.
Right.
So there's there's been a relationship there for a long time.
Belief.
Yeah, there's a belief. And look, he's just he's also a great athlete. Like, he's a very athletic player, obviously, as well. But no, I'll tell you this much. The preseason won't be dull. If we have Tanner McKee to watch, it's not going to be dull.
Oh, it'll be dull. Don't kid yourself. See,
I don't know. I'm looking forward to those postcasts, gentlemen.
CJ,
you're the one.
He's like Nahagian used to be in the middle of July. I mean, we just got to get pumped up.
Yeah.
Like trying to convince us that the preseason
is there Eagles fatigue. 6-1.
Yes.
It's our job to get everybody pumped up.
Yep.
You know what is fun, though?
Harry be like, that is not my job.
It might be too early to be pumped up, but is it ever too early to laugh at the Dallas Cowboys?
No.
Never.
When
we come back, we'll do that. This is Locked On Eagles Squad Show on the Locked On Eagles YouTube channel.
All righty. Let me tell you about Betterhelp. Everybody needs a little help. Well, workplace stress is at an all-time high. 61% of the global workforce is reporting higher than normal stress levels. Now, this summer, perfect time for you. It's winding down, but take small steps to focus on your wellness and manage the challenges that come with your workday and just, fitting it all in with your life as well. Of course, most of us we just can't quit our jobs and take a vacation all the time, go on holiday, as the Europeans like to say. But we can start small, whether it's getting outside for a few minutes, touch grass, adding movement into your day, or talking to someone who can help you navigate the many challenges that life brings. And that's where BetterHelp comes in. It's fantastic. Whether you're dealing with stress, financial stress, stress in the family, with kids, wife, whatever it is, therapy can help you get healthier and set boundaries at work, set boundaries at home, so stress doesn't spill over into the rest of your life. If you can manage it, you're going to have it. If you can manage it, that's the key. So you got that busy schedule. Do you ever wish you had a little more time to just schedule appointments? Well, the flexibility of online therapy makes it really easy to fit sessions into your busy schedule, no matter where you are. You won't be using that excuse, well, I don't have time to better myself. You can absolutely find time because BetterHelp makes it so easy and stress-free. Now, I've seen how working with a therapist helps people develop positive coping skills that make day-to-day challenges easier to manage. I've had to do it and deal with it with my illness. It helps a lot. So you got to take advantage of it if you are in need. Now, as the largest online therapy provider in the world, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a diverse variety of expertise. Unwind from work with BetterHelp. Our listeners, how about this? Get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/lockedon. So you got to log on and check it out at BetterHelp, HELP.com/lockedon, and take care of yourself.
There we go.
Okay,
Just
we're
like
back.
that. Well, we're back. Hey, how do everyone? We're all here? Okay. So Jerry Jones does his State of the Dallas Cowboys before training camp every year, and I believe this was yesterday. He did his State of the Cowboys address, and for the second year in a row, we get to laugh at it. If you remember, at the close of last season, we got to laugh at Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys because they acknowledged the question about whether or not they could learn from a team like the Eagles, to which they said, yes. So now, forever, we are the Cowboys' daddies forever. Any success they have, they've learned it from the Eagles. So that's a fun thing. Now, second,
the Eagles have taken a paternity test, and we are their daddy.
Right. So does that mean they're going to be incorporating the tush push?
Probably not, because as we've discovered,
Jack's
the Eagles are the only team. Yeah, the only team that can do it.
Wouldn't that be funny though if Week 1 against the Eagles they did unveil it and tried it and didn't make it? That would be pretty good.
That'd be vintage. Is that game
Harry?
at home or is it in Dallas?
No, it's at home. It's
at home.
in Philly. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's
they'll
the
be
championship banner night.
Yeah.
They'll be taunting Jera in his booth.
That would
with
be
a bottle
awesome.
of Johnny Walker. Black.
Blue.
Blue.
He's
That's
blue.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would
Harry?
be pretty good.
Yeah.
Thank you for that fantasy. I'm gonna be dining on that up until that game. And
Yeah,
it's
it's
better.
like a
Harry said
it's a 4th and 1, 1.5, and they're in a normal like set. And then all of a sudden they do like the Cowboys of Tom Landry, where the offensive line used to rise up and then go back down, and then the backs move into a different formation, and it's the tush push formation.
all right. Hold on. Let's
Jalen Carter just bust right through there and stuffs the whole thing up.
Oh, dear Lord, Harry. Oh, my God, man.
Go full Emmitt Smith on 4th down.
Yeah.
They're going for it again. Barry Switzer.
All I got to say, gentlemen, is who needs Rugiet? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Wow.
You know who does?
Skip the preseason and get right to September
People.
4th here.
Yes.
People need Rugiet.
44
The
days
fan
away.
base needs Rugiet. Yes, they do.
That's awesome. Yeah, I would love to see that.
Yeah.
Also, I think we're going to have to describe to the Cowboys what a Super Bowl banner looks like because it's been so long. Oh, that's what they're doing. That's what the banner is unfurling. So there you go.
Yeah,
but
their
I don't know if
banner
you
was printed on a Xerox machine. Yeah.
Carbon paper.
Yeah.
The contract negotiations going on right now with the Dallas Cowboys with Micah Parsons.
Yeah.
Now, Dak Prescott is obviously in the conversation as well, but Micah Parsons is kind of the latest to have this little back and forth with ownership. So I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but during the State of the Team press conference, they were asked about Micah Parsons and his contract. And Jerry Jones said, well, he missed 6 games last year. That's, 1/3 of the season. And, you talk about wanting more money and wanting to have a long-term deal. Well, does that go well for a team when you sign someone a long-term deal? No, we went through it last year with Dak Prescott, blah, blah. And it's like, damn, shots fired. Like, look, I enjoy laughing at the Cowboys as much as the next person, okay? But this, this isn't cool to say about your own player. I don't care what team you are. So, of all people, J.J. Watt, brother of T.J. Watt, whose contract just drove up the price, mind you, for Micah Parsons, J.J. Watt tweeted out, anytime you could publicly take a dig at your star quarterback and your star pass rusher simultaneously right before the season begins, you just got to take it. Nothing makes guys want to fight for you more than hearing how upset you are that they got hurt while fighting for you.
Unreal.
Well, isn't he on part of the CBS pregame show and halftime show? I mean, that's good for him to get a nice opinion out there. I mean, Jarrah put it on a tee for him, and he delivered something. So that good on him. But what this sounds like to me, this sounds like a live arbitration hearing, between a baseball player, his agent, and the team saying, hey, well, I know you're looking for an extra X amount of million, but you did miss X amount of games and you struck out this many times, where you sort of build a case to destroy the value of your own player.
Yes.
That's why you never like to go to arbitration.
Right.
The player's asking for X, you're offering Y, and you have to bring up the warts. Face to face.
For those that don't know, that arbitration process, a lot of times agents will be like, they'll say to the client, the player, you don't want to go in there. Just let me talk to them. You don't want, just let me deal with this. Because it creates so much bad blood.
Sure.
Yes, you want to avoid that. Because sooner or later, it's going to come out to the client. It's going to come out to the player. But you're right, Harry. That's nail on the head, man. That is exactly what this is. Like, oh, he wants the money. But, hey, guys, remember, Cowboys fans need to be reminded that Micah Parsons and Dak Prescott haven't played a whole hell of a lot over the last 2 seasons or last handful of seasons. Now, there's more to this. And this is where you play internet detective, and we all get to have our fun with this, okay?
Okay.
So J.J. Watt tweets out what I just read to you, okay? Who likes it and retweets it?
Micah Parsons. Yes. That's awesome. That's the great part about social media.
Oh, man. Who's the guy? And now you know the rest of the story.
Right.
That is chef's kiss. Beautiful. The kickoff is not even here, not even for the preseason. Literally camp just getting underway. And already the Dallas Cowboys, fellas, are reminding you why they're dumb at their jobs. So we get to enjoy and bask in that.
Jarrah's tenure as the owner has not been great. It's been profitable, but it has not been great. And it's a lot of it is self-inflicted wounds.
Yeah. Like,
he was right to hitch his wagon to Tony Romo, right, at the time.
Yeah.
But Romo just came up small in so many big situations.
Romo was a miracle.
Yeah.
Remember what he said?
Here we go, Jerry.
Yeah.
Not in Seattle.
I can't wait to hear Romo. Here we go, Jim.
Yeah.
Here's what's really interesting about that. I think Tony Romo is the perfect example of the Jerry Jones era of football in Dallas.
Yeah,
because when you think about it, they won 2 Super Bowls with Jimmy Johnson, and then they won with Barry Switzer.
Yep.
Right. They won with Barry, and then they haven't sniffed it since.
Well, they had Wade Phillips, the coach there, Chan Gailey,
Wade Phillips, Bill Parcells,
Bill Parcells,
Dave Campo or Dan Campo.
Dave Campo.
Dave Campo.
Yeah.
Yeah. It hasn't been ideal.
Jason Garrett.
If Jerry Jones didn't have that ego, would they have won more with Jimmy Johnson?
Probably.
Well, yeah, because Jimmy left because of him.
They would have won at least that third one with him. I mean, it was Jimmy's team.
Maybe a fourth, though, too.
Yeah,
maybe a fourth.
Yeah.
And then players want to play for him. They want to stick around, all that stuff. So I don't know. Either way, I'm happy in the state that the Cowboys are in now. I feel like I used to feel about the Commanders. Like Dan Snyder, you seem like a total scumbag, but please don't ever sell that team.
Right.
And now, what do you know? It looks like Josh Harris knows how to own a football team at least. So there's that.
Well, he hasn't screwed it up yet.
He hasn't gotten in the way just yet.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for Magic Johnson to get in the way. No, but that's where they're at right now in Washington, unfortunately. But this Dallas Cowboy team just continues to be a good time for everybody else. And even if they do have a good regular season, they're going to blow it in the playoffs. So that's enjoyable. That's enjoyable as well.
I like the fact that the Eagles are opening against them. It just creates the buzz right Thursday night, prime time.
Oh.
Cowboy Dave coming in. Boom, 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 boom. Let's get him in here. Yeah.
All right, we're coming up on it, but we got one more break to do.
What? Cowboy Dave. Let's get him in. Gotta get you in.
All right. We got one more to go here. One more break. When we come back, though, there's one ask. We mentioned Jalen Hurts earlier. There's one more ask, and I want to make sure I get this quote in here because I think it's a good one that applies to Jalen Hurts, and it's from somebody well outside the football world. We'll get to that in a second. When we return, this is Locked On Eagles Squad podcast Eagles Squad show on the Locked On Eagles YouTube channel. Let me tell you about FanDuel and how incredible FanDuel is. Hopefully you guys are taking advantage of all FanDuel has to offer. And right now on FanDuel, you can get, how about this? You bet just $5, you get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins on FanDuel. Summer sports in full swing, whether you're all about baseball under the lights, golf on the green, or high-stakes soccer action, FanDuel is the best way to make every moment and every game more exciting. You're already following the action. Why not get a little bit more thrilling? Make it a little bit more thrilling with FanDuel while you're getting in on the action and your friends are getting sunburned on the beach. How about that? I've been using FanDuel to track my favorite matchups. The app keeps it fresh with daily promotions and fun ways to bet. It's easy to use, fast payouts, and makes it even every regular season game, actually, all that much more exciting. So whether I'm following a same-game parlay or watching a bet ride into the ninth inning, like I don't know whether or not the Phillies are going to win a game on a catcher's interference call for the first time since 1971. Get all that action with FanDuel. New FanDuel, new customers can once again bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. Open the FanDuel app today. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com. I heard this quote recently, gentlemen, from actor, comedian, long, successful career, Steve Martin. Steve Martin was asked a question. He gets the question a lot from people that want to be in show business. Hey, how do you get into show business? How do you get your movie? How do you get this, that, and the other? And he says, the answer I give these people, they never like. Because what they want to hear is they want to hear a process. Get an agent, find a script, practice, blah, blah, blah. They don't want that's what they want to hear because a lot of times they're doing that already. But he always tells people, be so undeniably good that they can't ignore you. And I think you can apply that to every walk of life. And it really, I heard that quote somewhat recently. And then all the lists came out during list season with Jalen Hurts not being ranked, in my book, top 2, not being ranked in other people's book, top 5, not in other people's book, top 10. And I just thought to myself, keep building the resume. If you're a 2-time Super Bowl champion, if you're a 3-time NFC champion, if you're a 2-time Super Bowl MVP, like you answered a huge question about you is whether or not you can make the throws when another team takes away Saquon Barkley. Well, Steve Spagnuolo and the Kansas City Chiefs defense took away Saquon Barkley, and he made the throws. He made all the throws. And still, Justin Herbert, in one particular instance, Baker Mayfield. Like, these guys being ranked above Jalen Hurts is ridiculous in my book now. But the only way you can turn the tide is to just keep on winning. Keep stacking the victories. Because then I think more people are focused on what I'm already focused on, gentlemen, which is I'm not just going to award participation trophies to guys simply because they're not on the Eagles. Well, if Joe Burrow was on the Eagles, then he would have this. Well, there's nobody out there can say that they would win as many as Jalen Hurts would win if they were in the same situation. They might, in fact, get in the way of winning those games. So if he just keeps stacking that resume, Jason, I think everybody else will fall in the line.
I just think at this point, I don't know that he's ever going to get the respect that he deserves because there's too many mathematicians out there, and they want to math football, and you can't math football. There's only one math that matters. W's and L's, and this guy wins, and he showed up on the biggest stage of his life against an absolute wagon of a team in the Kansas City Chiefs and just decimated them. So I think it's just going to be the trendy thing to do throughout his career is to just minimize, he's a system quarterback, whatever. They're just going to minimize him. He's going to minimize his way all the way to Canton. Because, I mean, you can't deny what he's done. Look at the result.
Yeah, I mean, getting the credit he deserves, from the likes of Eric Mangini, Colin Cowherd, Chris Sims. I don't care. Yeah, I don't care if they ever give him credit. That doesn't matter to me. Like, I don't take any, that doesn't make me feel better as a follower of the football team if all of a sudden Eric Mangini puts him at number 3 on this quarterback list ahead of, Herbert. Like, it's like, oh, yeah, it doesn't do anything for me. I consider the source. I got my own rankings.
Yeah. I do agree with that. But I think a lot of this will come down to similar to what we opened the show with, talking about guys looking back on their careers. If you just stack the success, guess what? I can't hear you over my Super Bowl rings. Right. I can't hear you over my Lombardi trophies. I can't hear you over how many parades did we provide for the city of Philadelphia. Can't hear you over that crowd noise. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
And the thing that I do love about it, though, the thing I love about it is Jalen Hurts hears it, and Jalen Hurts throws it on the fire that fuels his motivation. And I know some people might look at, why do you need that? Well, we've heard plenty of stories.
Tom Brady needed it.
Tom Brady needed to be he's still not over being the 6th round pick.
Right.
Right. Use that motivation time and time again. And that's what I love about Jalen Hurts.
That Super Bowl ring is so big. I don't know if there's room for another one on that hand.
The next one's going to be
seriously,
stuff into his ear. He doesn't have to hear all this crap anymore.
Exactly. They might want to wear the next one around their neck.
Yeah.
We're going Super Bowl necklaces, guys.
Right.
This is what we're going to do. We're going to start a new trend. Fun as always, boys. I know we got a lot to get to later in the week on Thursday when we talked again about Philadelphia Eagles. I know that we're going to hear from the coach. We're going to hear from the coordinators. We're going to be hearing from players over the next couple of days. Look forward to breaking it all down with you guys again on Thursday, so I look forward to that. That's Harry Mays right there. That's Jason Martinez. Also, Louis DiBiase has you covered each and every day on Locked On Eagles YouTube channel, so make sure you guys are checking out Louis each and every day for your Locked On Eagles daily podcast and content. Harry and Jason got you covered for your Locked On Eagles postcast needs. The season's just around the corner. Again, look at this. August 7th, kicking off against the Bengals. Bang, bang, boom. How about
I think we're starting that postcast at halftime, I think, of that Bengals.
We're just doing it during halftime.
There you go. Jeremy, we see it. Thank you very much for being a part of the Tanner McKee, a stud. See, he's looking at preseason.
Tanner McKee.
Like I am. Thank you. Also, Nolan Smith is the guy that's going to drive the energy like Brandon Graham, so I look forward to that. And I agree. All right, until next time, which will be Thursday at noon, Locked On Eagles Squad podcast. For Harry Mays, Jason Martinez, our friend Louis DiBiase, I'm Marc Farzetta. We're going to be back with you guys on Thursday, breaking down the birds even further on another edition of Locked On Eagles Squad Show.